Imagine walking through the streets of ancient Rome. What if I told you that beneath the grandeur of its architecture lay a hidden world of filth and decay? A place where the very foundations of civilization struggled against the weight of dirt and disease. Join us as we uncover the startling truth behind the filth of Rome. As the sun cast its golden light upon the city, the citizens of Rome awoke to a daily battle against grime. Streets were often filled with refuse, while the air was thick with the stench of waste. Daily life in this once great civilization was fraught with challenges that may surprise you. In Rome, public toilets were a common sight, yet they were far from the clean facilities we might expect today. Placed in public spaces, these communal latrines often overflowed, creating a breeding ground for disease. But how did the Romans manage this unsanitary reality? In the heart of the city, the Cloaca Maxima, one of the world's oldest sewage systems, worked tirelessly. Built to carry waste away from urban life, it was a remarkable feat of engineering. Yet, its effectiveness was limited, and many Romans still faced the stench of uncollected refuse. Water, the lifeblood of any city, was equally compromised. Aqueducts carried fresh supplies, yet many Romans relied on contaminated sources. The Tiber River, once a vital artery, became a dumping ground for both waste and toxins, posing a significant health risk to its citizens. Artifacts reveal that Romans coped with dirt in various ways. Pottery shards show the use of communal cups and shared bowls, but the risk of illness was ever present. The Romans had to rely on their immune systems to survive the filth that surrounded them. Despite their advanced society, the Romans lacked a profound understanding of hygiene. The very idea of bathing was considered a luxury rather than a necessity. While they built impressive bathhouses, these venues became hotbeds of germs and bacteria. The bathhouses, revered for their social aspect, often saw thousands of visitors each day. Yet, with such numbers, the facilities struggled to maintain cleanliness. Bathers would often leave the water murky and filled with the remnants of previous users. For the wealthy, personal hygiene was a reflection of status, with elaborate perfumes and oils masking the odors of a dirty city. Yet, even the affluent could not escape the reality of Rome's filth. Disease knew no class and lurked within the shadows of opulence. As the city expanded, so did its problems. Slums populated by the poor became common, and with them, an increase in waste and unsanitary living conditions. The contrast between the grandeur of the Palatine Hill and the squalor of the Subura was stark. Roman streets were alive with the sounds of vendors and the chatter of citizens, but they also echoed with the cries of those suffering from illness. Contaminated water and poor sanitation made disease rampant, with plagues occasionally sweeping through the city. Archaeological evidence shows that illnesses like typhoid and cholera were common among the Roman population. Without a clear understanding of the causes, they often resorted to superstition and ritual to ward off disease, further entrenching their struggles. Despite their many achievements, the Romans could not escape the consequences of their environmental choices. As waste accumulated and rivers became polluted, they faced a paradox. The city they built to thrive was slowly becoming unlivable. The Romans employed some methods to combat the dirtiness of their environment. They used urine for laundry and cleaning, harnessing its ammonia to whiten fabrics. Yet, such practices serve as a reminder of the city's ongoing battle with filth. As the empire expanded, so did the challenges of maintaining cleanliness across its vast territories. Each newly conquered region brought unique sanitation issues, compounding the struggles of Rome's existing urban centers. Through the lens of history, it's evident that the Romans experienced the same struggles we face today. Cities under strain from rapid growth and a lack of infrastructure present a picture all too familiar, reminding us of the importance of sanitation. The legacy of Rome's dirtiness continues to inform modern urban planning. As cities grapple with similar challenges, they draw lessons from the past. The rise and fall of Rome serve as a testament to the delicate balance between growth and sustainability. The very name Rome, conjures images of grandeur, yet it was a civilization haunted by its hygienic failings. To understand Rome, we must remember this stark contrast. A city of beauty, marred by dirt, where the fight against filth was a daily reality. As we reflect on the dirtiness of ancient Rome, we must consider how this affected its citizens. The uncleanliness led to social divides, with the wealthy often distancing themselves from the squalor present in the majority of the city. In this dance of survival, the Romans learned to adapt. They forged a culture that thrived amid adversity, creating innovations in engineering and architecture, while simultaneously battling the dirt that threatened to engulf them. But what they found next changed everything. As the empire expanded, so did the understanding of hygiene. Increasing contact with other cultures brought new ideas about cleanliness, sparking the evolution of Roman sanitation practices. The advent of public fountains offered a glimpse of improvement. Fresh water became more accessible, allowing citizens to wash away the grime of the day. However, this boon still left much to be desired in terms of overall cleanliness. The Romans revered cleanliness as a virtue, yet their efforts often fell short. As cities grew, the infrastructure struggled to keep pace. The concept of cleanliness evolved amid challenges, leading to a unique cultural perspective on hygiene. As the years went by, the stark reality of Rome's dirtiness became a topic of discourse among philosophers and leaders. The very fabric of Roman society was woven with the acknowledgement of its own flaws and the aspiration for improvement. With time, the Romans began to appreciate the value of cleanliness more than ever. The understanding that hygiene could prevent disease catalyzed a shift in societal norms, paving the way for the sanitation practices we cherish today. The transition was gradual, and while it took centuries, the efforts to clean up the streets of Rome eventually gained momentum. The realization that dirt was interconnected with health-motivated change, leading to a more sanitary environment. Through this transformation, Romans began to establish a lasting legacy of sanitation. Their innovations would inform future civilizations, laying the groundwork for modern urban hygiene practices that we often take for granted today. As the Roman Empire waned, so did the sanitation practices they had developed. The fall of Rome signaled the loss of much of the knowledge that had helped to battle the grime that once plagued the city. In the centuries that followed, Europe faced a resurgence of dirtiness as hygiene practices deteriorated. The lessons learned from ancient Rome were all but forgotten, leading to periods of hardship and illness across the continent. Yet, the stories of Rome still resonate today. The struggles of its citizens serve as a reminder of the importance of cleanliness and the necessity of maintaining a healthy environment. Lessons that continue to echo through time. In conclusion, the dirtiness of ancient Rome reveals a complex narrative of human civilization. As we explore this history, we gain insights into our own challenges and triumphs in the ongoing pursuit of cleanliness and health. The hidden truth of Rome's dirtiness encourages us to reflect on our own environments. As we learn from the past, let us strive for a future where cleanliness and health prevail. If you enjoyed this journey through history, consider subscribing for more insights into the past. As we delve deeper into the daily lives of Romans, we uncover a truth that might shock us. The streets, once bustling with life, were often thick with filth. The waste of humans and animals blended seamlessly with the dust of the roads, creating a miasma that lingered in the air. In such densely populated quarters, sanitation was more of a dream than a reality. The famous Roman aqueducts, lauded for their engineering brilliance, seldom reached the common areas. Many citizens relied on simple wells or communal water sources, often contaminated. Moreover, the public toilets, known as latrines, were a source of both necessity and disgust. Rows of stone seats provided no privacy, and the stench was unbearable. Yet, the Romans considered these communal facilities as social hubs. But what about their baths? The famed Roman baths were not only a place for cleansing, but also a gathering area. However, the water was often reused, and the floors, slick with oil and dirt, turned into a slippery web of germs. In fact, the baths were notorious breeding grounds for disease. In a society that prided itself on hygiene, the paradox of filth lingered. Contaminated water led to outbreaks, yet many shrugged it off as just the way of life. The marketplaces, too, were far from sanitary. Merchants sold everything from fresh produce to butchered meat, often in close quarters with livestock. The mingling of waste and food became a commonplace sight, mingling scents that would overwhelm anyone. And let's not forget the ever-present problem of waste disposal. Refuse was often tossed into the streets or into nearby rivers, compounding the issue. While wealthy Romans had some means to manage waste, the poorer citizens faced a daily struggle. The concept of cleanliness in ancient Rome often revolved around status. While the elite could afford regular visits to elaborate bathhouses, many of the lower classes remained trapped in a cycle of dirt and disease. Their struggle for hygiene painted a stark picture of societal disparity. As we explore these layers of dirt, it's fascinating to consider how Romans viewed hygiene. They had a complex relationship with it, valuing cleanliness yet coexisting with the grime of their environment. This juxtaposition of ideals reveals the true essence of Roman life. Among the more bizarre practices was the use of urine for washing clothes. Collected from public urinals, this ammonia-rich liquid was a common cleaning agent, indicating that Romans had some understanding of cleanliness despite their chaotic environment. Despite all this, the Romans did recognize the importance of cleanliness in certain aspects. Their elaborate plumbing systems, when functioning properly, were a marvel of engineering, allowing for improved hygiene in some public spaces. But even these systems had limitations. Leaks and blockages were common, leading to stagnant water pools that would only increase the filth around them. The battle against dirt was often lost more than it was won. The legacy of this dirtiness is reflected in many archaeological findings. Excavations reveal layers of refuse and waste, providing insight into the everyday lives of Romans. Their struggles with cleanliness are intricately woven into the fabric of their society. Interestingly, the decline of Rome also mirrored its hygiene crisis. As the empire faced invasions and internal strife, the infrastructure that supported cleanliness crumbled, leaving citizens to fight an uphill battle against filth and disease. And yet, for all its dirtiness, ancient Rome was a beacon of civilization. The cultural achievements, the art, the philosophy, all flourished amidst the grime, showcasing the resilience of humanity in the face of adversity. The Romans also developed various health remedies, many of which relied on herbs and nature to combat the ailments brought about by their unsanitary conditions. Herbalism played a vital role in their attempts to maintain health. In the midst of this dirt, stories of resilience and adaptability emerge. Romans learned to navigate their unclean environments, finding ways to incorporate hygiene practices into their daily lives, often in ingenious ways. The emergence of public health awareness can also be traced back to this time. The realization that health is affected by surroundings led to some early attempts at community cleanliness, albeit rudimentary by modern standards. As we consider the layers of dirt and their impact, it prompts a reflection on the very nature of civilization. The juxtaposition of advancement and neglect creates a complex narrative that continues to resonate today. Ultimately, the story of Rome is not just one of grandeur. It is also about the harsh realities of urban life. Its streets may have been dirty, but they were alive with the pulse of human experience, reflecting both the beauty and the grime of existence. And so, we continue to peel back the layers of this ancient civilization. Each discovery adds depth to our understanding, revealing not just the glory but the grit that defined the Roman experience. From the bustling markets to the communal baths, the filth of Rome tells a story of its own. Each layer of grime speaks to the human condition, reflecting resilience, adaptability, and the struggle for a better life. While we may romanticize the grandeur of ancient Rome, acknowledging its dirtiness allows us to grasp the totality of its experience. The interplay of light and shadow reveals the complexity of a civilization that still influences us today. In understanding the past, we also gain insight into our own modern struggles with cleanliness and health. The lessons learned from the Romantics teach us that the pursuit of cleanliness is a continuous journey, one that must never be taken for granted. As we navigate through this historical narrative, we find ourselves at a crossroads of understanding. The past, with its dirt and struggles, becomes a mirror reflecting our choices and values today. Thus, the journey through ancient Rome's dirtiness invites us to consider our own lives. How do we treat our environment? What lessons can we learn to create a cleaner future informed by the past's realities? The echoes of ancient Rome's filth resonate in our modern cities, reminding us that cleanliness is intertwined with culture, health, and social responsibility. It is a delicate balance we continue to navigate. As we reflect on our exploration, it becomes clear that the struggle for cleanliness is an age-old battle. The Romans faced their challenges with grit and innovation, paving the way for modern sanitation practices. The remnants of their struggles serve as a reminder that no civilization is perfect. The dirtiness of Rome is but a chapter in a larger narrative that speaks to our inherent human flaws and triumphs. Each brick, each piece of refuse, tells a story of a people who thrived despite their circumstances. Their legacy is one of perseverance, reminding us that even amidst chaos, civilization endures. In this light, we can appreciate the complexity of human existence, the triumphs, the dirt, and the lessons learned over centuries. Ancient Rome's dirtiness serves as a powerful lens through which we can view our own lives. As we continue to unearth the past, the dirt of ancient Rome reveals more than mere filth. It uncovers the very essence of humanity. The interplay of dirt and dignity shapes the narrative of our shared history. The stark realities of Roman life remind us that cleanliness is a privilege shaped by circumstance and choice. As we embrace these lessons, we can craft a future where health and hygiene are accessible to all. Ultimately, our exploration of ancient Rome's dirtiness is not just a journey through the past, it is a call to action for our present. The echoes of their struggles resonate in our time, challenging us to create a cleaner world. With every insight gained, we find ourselves more connected to the Romans who walked these streets. Their dirtiness paints a vivid picture of resilience, reminding us that our environment shapes our very existence. The stories of ancient Rome's dirtiness beckon us to consider our own choices. How do we honor the lessons of the past while striving for a cleaner, healthier future for generations to come? As we conclude this chapter of our journey, let the dirt of ancient Rome remind us of the persistent human spirit. In the face of adversity, we can find pathways to improvement and cleanliness. The legacy of this ancient society continues to influence us today. Let us embrace the lessons learned from their dirtiness and work towards a healthier and cleaner future for all. In doing so, we not only honor our ancestors, but also build a foundation for a sustainable future. The dirt of ancient Rome becomes a powerful metaphor for the challenges we all face. Let this exploration of the dirtiness of ancient Rome serve as a reminder that cleanliness is an ongoing journey. It is a shared responsibility that connects us across time and space. As we part ways with these ancient lessons, let's carry forward a commitment to bettering our environments. The dirt that once defined Rome can inspire us to create spaces of health and dignity. The rich history of ancient Rome will always be intertwined with its dirtiness. This duality reminds us that beauty can emerge even in the mess, encouraging us to embrace our imperfections. As we reflect on this journey, let us celebrate the spirit of Rome, a civilization that thrived amidst chaos. Their legacy is a testament to human resilience and the pursuit of a better life, even in the muck. In the end, the dirtiness of ancient Rome is a reminder that life is not always polished. The stories, the struggles, and the triumphs contained within those layers of grime are what truly define a civilization. As we conclude this exploration, let us carry forth the lessons learned from Rome's dirtiness. May they inspire us to create a future that values health, cleanliness, and the beauty in our shared humanity. As the sun rose over the sprawling metropolis of Rome, the pungent sense of waste and unwashed bodies mingled in the air. The city's grandeur often masked its underlying filth, a reality that citizens faced every day. Streets thrummed with life, but beneath the vibrancy lay a darker truth: vulnerable hygiene practices that would shock modern sensibilities. While the emperors built majestic temples and theaters, the common people struggled with basic sanitation. Open sewers ran like veins through the city, carrying a concoction of filth and refuse. For most, the closest bath was a nearby fountain, where clean water was rationed and rarely enjoyed. The public latrines, often a source of embarrassment, were designed for efficiency rather than comfort. Rows of stone seats faced one another, fostering an environment where privacy was an alien concept. Here, the sound of nature merged with the chatter of citizens, a strange harmony born of necessity. To clean themselves after using these latrines, Romans employed a simple tool: a sponge on a stick. This communal sponge was soaked in vinegar and returned to its holder after use. The idea of sharing such an item may seem repulsive today, but for Romans, it was merely a part of daily life. Beyond their baths, the marketplace was a swirling cacophony of life, where merchants traded everything from food to fabrics. Yet, amidst the vibrant colors and enticing aromas, one could not ignore the underlying stench of spoiled goods, animal waste, and the ever-present dirt that clung to the cobblestones. Food safety was an elusive concept in ancient Rome, and many meals included ingredients that had long passed their prime. Vendors often sold food that teetered on the brink of spoilage. For many, the risk of foodborne illness was a constant companion, accepted as part of city life. The Roman baths, touted for their cleansing properties, were ironically hubs of dirt and disease. While patrons soaked in communal pools, the water grew increasingly murky, filled with sweat, oils, and unmentionable substances. The very act of bathing became a gamble with health. Despite the risks, these baths served as important social centers, where gossip flourished and alliances were formed. The camaraderie found within these steamy walls meant that cleanliness often took a back seat to connection and conversation. The public health system of Rome, though advanced for its time, was still rudimentary. While aqueducts ushered fresh water into the city, the waste system struggled to keep up. As a result, the streets became a veritable maze of liquids, both foul and fresh. As if the urban landscape wasn't challenging enough, livestock wandered the streets, adding to the chaos. The clucking of chickens and the braying of donkeys resonated in the air while their droppings littered the ground, a testament to the entwined lives of humans and animals in the bustling city. While Rome's emperors enjoyed lavish feasts, for many citizens food could be scarce. Rationing and bartering were common, leading to a culture where spoiled foods were often salvaged. The desperation for sustenance blurred the lines of culinary integrity. Waste management was often ignored, with refuse thrown into the streets or the nearby Tiber River. This negligence created a breeding ground for vermin and diseases, painting a grim picture of urban life that often went unacknowledged by the privileged elite. Interestingly, the Romans recognized the connection between dirt and health, albeit in their own way. They believed that exposure to certain diseases could strengthen the body, leading to a culture that accepted filth as a part of life, much to the dismay of modern hygiene standards. Despite the apparent dirtiness, Romans took pride in their public festivals, where the city would transform into a vibrant tapestry of color and sound. However, these celebrations often took place amidst the omnipresent grime, a paradox that defined the experience of many citizens. The political elite often distanced themselves from the chaos of the streets, residing in grand villas, complete with private baths and gardens. This separation bred a disconnect, and many leaders turned a blind eye to the dirt that surrounded their citizens. As Rome expanded, its dirtiness spread, leaving a legacy that would haunt future generations. The rapid growth led to overcrowding, amplifying the issues of hygiene and sanitation. With each new conquest, the city struggled more to maintain its cleanliness. In the heart of Rome, the Forum served as a bustling hub for politics and commerce. Yet, it was also a hotbed of filth. Visitors would navigate through a maze of refuse, witnessing both the power of the state and the grime that accompanied it, a true reflection of Roman life. The collapse of the Western Roman Empire left chaos in its wake, where the systems of sanitation fell apart. What once was a thriving infrastructure succumbed to neglect, leading to a resurgence of filth as even the remnants of civilization crumbled. As Rome's glory faded, the dirt that had once been an accepted part of life became a symbol of decline. Historical accounts from later centuries often mention the filth, attributing Rome's downfall to the very conditions that had once seemed normal. The tales of Rome's dirtiness were not just stories of neglect, but reflections of resilience. In the face of overwhelming challenges, the Romans adapted, finding ways to live amidst the grime, showcasing an indomitable spirit that has echoed through the ages. By studying Rome's unsanitary reality, we gain insights into the complexities of urban living. The juxtaposition of opulence and filth reveals much about societal values, expectations, and the human experience that transcends time. In the end, the dirtiness of ancient Rome is not just a tale of neglect, but a canvas upon which the complexities of civilization are painted. It invites us to question our own standards of cleanliness and what it means to live together in shared spaces. The lessons learned from this examination of Rome's dirtiness remain relevant today. As we navigate our own cities, let us reflect on the balance between beauty and neglect, and strive to create environments where health and cleanliness are paramount. Ultimately, the story of ancient Rome reminds us that every civilization has its struggles. It is through understanding these challenges that we can appreciate the progress we have made and the work that still lies ahead in our quest for a better life. As the sun rose over Rome, the vibrant city awakened to a symphony of sounds. Merchants called out to potential customers. The scent of baked bread wafted through the air, but beneath the beauty lay an unsettling truth. Waste mingled with the lively atmosphere, creating a stark contrast between the hustle and the grime. The iconic streets of Rome, whilst teeming with life, were often littered with refuse. Animal waste from trotting horses and donkeys painted a grim reality for the citizens. This constant presence of filth was simply a part of daily life that many endured without complaint. Public baths, celebrated for their architecture and social importance, also held a darker side. The very waters meant for cleansing often mingled with the sweat and grime of countless patrons. The Romans believed in the purifying properties of water, yet the reality was quite opposite. In these popular bathhouses, personal hygiene was practiced, but the communal aspect meant that cleanliness was often compromised. Soaps made from animal fats and ash, while effective to some degree, still left much to be desired in terms of sanitation. With around 1 million inhabitants, the city's waste management system struggled to keep pace. The Cloaca Maxima, Rome's main sewer, was a marvel of engineering, but often overflowed with debris and filth, spilling into the streets and nearby waterways. Waste management was not just an issue beneath the streets. It permeated the very air. The smell of decaying garbage and waste mingled with fresh bread and spices, creating a unique flavor of the city that enveloped its inhabitants. Despite its grandeur, the sanitation situation in Rome was precarious. Overflowing trash heaps sprawled in alleys and corners, often attracting rats and other vermin. This uninvited company posed a genuine threat to public health. Interestingly, the Romans were known to use urine as a cleaning agent and for brightening clothes. Fullers, the tradesmen responsible for laundering garments, relied on this pungent liquid to maintain the appearance of their clients' attire. Urine collection pots were placed strategically around the city, serving dual purposes as both a source of ammonia and an unsettling reminder of the compromises made for cleanliness. This unconventional approach exemplified Roman ingenuity amidst overwhelming filth. In the midst of all this, the rich and powerful often enjoyed a different standard of sanitation. Lavish homes boasted private baths, while the general populace had to contend with communal facilities that were often overcrowded and less than sanitary. The disparity extended even further when considering the diet of the Romans, as wealthy citizens had access to fresh produce and imports, while the lower classes often depended on grain and legumes. This inequality influenced not only health but also sanitation. Fish markets, often situated near the riverbanks, compounded the situation. Fish vendors struggled to keep their stalls tidy amid the constant flow of refuse. The scent of rotting seafood filled the air, a pungent reminder of the city's underlying chaos. Amidst the bustling life, even the sacred spaces were not immune to the dirt. Temples, once revered for their sanctity, often fell victim to the neglect of maintenance, with the accumulation of dust and debris shrouding their once glorious facades. Yet, the spirit of the Romans shone through. They adapted, creating a culture that thrived amidst adversity. Festivals and public gatherings celebrated life even if they took place in less than perfect environments. The Romans were also innovators in urban planning, building sophisticated aqueducts that delivered fresh water to the city. However, even these monumental achievements had their flaws, as the water quality declined from various sources of contamination. While aqueducts were an engineering triumph, the logistics of disposing of waste remained a challenge. The overflow from the Cloaca Maxima would occasionally backtrack into the very sources intended for drinking, creating a vicious cycle of contamination. Moreover, the city's reliance on lead pipes for water distribution added another layer of risk. The dangers of lead poisoning were not widely understood at the time, leading many Romans to unknowingly consume contaminated water. The public latrines, an essential part of Roman life, were an astonishing feat of engineering. However, they also posed significant health hazards, as they lacked privacy and were often left in appalling conditions, further contributing to the city's filth. In these latrines, the Romans employed a strange tool, a sponge on a stick, shared among users. The lack of sanitation protocols meant that diseases could spread easily, as hygiene was often an afterthought in such public facilities. As the day faded into night, the city transformed yet again. Lanterns flickered to life, illuminating not only the grand architecture, but also the shadows of neglect that lingered in the corners of every street. The evenings brought a mix of vibrant social life and underlying concerns, as the threat of disease loomed large. Festivals were often marred by reports of illness, yet the Romans continued to revel, proving their resilience in the face of adversity. As the Romans embraced their complex urban lifestyle, they demonstrated a unique blend of sophistication and struggle. They understood the value of cleanliness, yet their reality often contradicted their aspirations. While they built monuments to last, the grime of daily existence often overshadowed their achievements. The combination of ambition and neglect formed an intricate tapestry that defined Roman life in ways often overlooked. This juxtaposition of grandeur and squalor serves as a reminder of the complexities of civilization. Each brick and stone tells a story not just of progress, but also of the dirt that accompanied it. The legacy of ancient Rome is intertwined with both its triumphs and its dirt. Understanding this reality allows us to appreciate the struggles that shaped one of history's most influential civilizations, and the lessons it offers us today. As we delve deeper into the layers of Roman life, we uncover a narrative rich with contradictions. The beauty of Rome was often marred by the very elements that made it vibrant and alive. From its architectural wonders to its bustling marketplaces, Rome was a city of extremes. The delicate balance between sophistication and decay is a testament to the resilience of its people, who thrived against all odds. Yet, This resilience did not come without its costs. The pervasive dirt and pollution took a toll on health and hygiene, leading to a cycle of illness that plagued many among the urban populace. As public health concerns mounted, some Romans sought remedies in nature. Herbal treatments and remedies became increasingly popular, with apothecaries providing a glimpse into the healing practices of the time. The awareness of hygiene began to evolve as the city faced repeated outbreaks of disease. Public health initiatives, albeit rudimentary, were introduced to combat the challenges posed by the unsanitary conditions. Despite their efforts, the undercurrents of filth continued to persist. The juxtaposition of their achievements in architecture and their failures in sanitation paints a complex picture of Roman society. In public gatherings, the stark realities of urban life often came to light. As citizens celebrated their culture, they also endured the consequences of neglect that permeated their environment. As the Romans continued to push forward, they began to recognize the need for improved sanitation measures. The lessons learned from their experiences would inform future generations on the importance of hygiene in urban planning. Innovations emerged driven by necessity as the city adapted to its challenges. The awareness of hygiene began to influence architecture, leading to more thoughtful designs that prioritized cleanliness. As we reflect on the legacy of ancient Rome, we are reminded that progress often comes through struggle. The path to a cleaner society is often paved with hard lessons learned from the past. The complex relationship between beauty and neglect is a theme that resonates even today. As we strive for progress, we must also recognize the realities that accompany growth and change. The story of ancient Rome, filled with contradictions and complexities, serves as a compelling reminder. From the grandeur of its architecture to the dirt of its streets, each facet tells a story waiting to be uncovered. As we continue to delve into the depths of Roman life, we uncover the layers of society that shaped its destiny. Each discovery enriches our understanding of this ancient civilization and its enduring legacy. With every stone unearthed, we find not just history, but the echoes of lives lived amidst chaos and beauty. The duality of existence in Rome invites us to reflect on our own lives and societies. In understanding the dirt and disorder of ancient life, we also grasp the essence of humanity. It is through these imperfections that we connect with those who came before us, sharing in the universal struggle for betterment. As we piece together the fragmented narratives of Rome, we gain insight into the resilience of its people. Their ability to adapt and thrive amidst adversity showcases the strength of the human spirit. In looking closely at their struggles, we find lessons for our own time. The past speaks to us about our shared responsibility toward cleanliness and the environment we inhabit. As we journey through the remnants of ancient Rome, we are invited to reflect on our ongoing journey. The quest for a harmonious balance between beauty and hygiene continues to shape our lives. In the end, the story of ancient Rome is not just about dirt and neglect. It is about human experience. It is a narrative of resilience, a testament to the evolution of civilization, and a reminder of the work that lies ahead. As we draw closer to understanding this ancient world, let us not forget the lessons hidden within the dust. It is through acknowledging the past that we can truly appreciate how far we have come.